dietetic internship application that is sure to stand out. Today, I am going to show you how you can look at your application and see exactly what directors will see so you can make sure your application looks exactly how you want it to before you hit that submit button and send it to programs. Using this method is a really great way to double check that your application is free of typos, has no grammar or spelling errors, that the formatting is the way you want it to be in some of those sections where you can type in the information, that the right personal statement is attached to your program, that you've got the right references going to that program with your application. This is just a great way to make sure that this application you've spent so much time, energy, and effort on, and that is such an important part of your education and future career as a dietitian, looks stellar and is exactly what you want to be sending to dietetic internship programs to consider you for their match. So as you watch, I hope that you will learn something new so you can use this in your own application experience. Go ahead and check out the resources in the caption for this video to find more application insider help for your DI application. Same way that DI directors will. We start here just at the login page where you've got your application checklist. You will be able to see your application at any time as long as you have a program entered in program designations, which I will show you. So right now you can see in this example, several of the items are complete, but there are a few that are incomplete because I have not done them obviously in this example. So the references are incomplete. I only have one in there. The match information is incomplete because I don't have D&D digital information in there, and the application certification is complete because I'm not officially sending this off yet. So this is just to show you how you can look at your application and see the exact same version that directors will see. So you click on program designations. You do need to have at least one program entered here. So if you haven't done that yet, go to add entry and add a program in. But here's kind of the gathering place for all of the different parts of the application. You have the program that you're applying to. You would assign which personal statement goes to that program, which references will go to that program. If you have supplementary materials, you upload them here, and everything like that. This is where you make the specifics for each program that you're applying to. And in order to see your application exactly as each program will see it, there's this option here towards the right. It says View Application Formatted, and then there's this binoculars icon. So if we click on that, it will open a new tab, which is a PDF version of the application for that specific program. You can see this is the one that is going to Central Valley WIC as my example. You can see all of the information that you have put into DICUS for this particular program. Obviously, personal information and contact information will be the same for each one. You can see which track, if there is a track for that program. The background information that you have entered in. This is where your GPA is calculated, depending on the coursework information that you entered. This is where your colleges that you attended are recorded. As we continue scrolling, this is where all your coursework is entered for each semester, the science versus professional designation, your grades, and again, this is where your information for GPA is pulled out. This is where the DPD director will have filled out information, so if they have completed that part, you can see it, or at least see the placeholder for it. This is where all of your information for work, volunteer experience, awards, etc. are recorded. This is an opportunity for you to see, is it formatted the way that I prefer? Are the dates correct? Are the hours correct? Is the contact information for all of those people correct? You can see this says work experience as the heading, and you can see that this particular entry is designated as paid, volunteer experience, academic credit. So you can see and double check that all of those designations are correct as you look through the work volunteer experience. And then we come to the personal statement. I just have a sample here to show you that this is the one I've got for Central Valley WIC. This is where you would see the full personal statement that you put into DICUS. This is where you would see references that you have entered in for that particular program. You will not see what they fill out, what their actual reference or letter is that they submit to DICUS, but you can see which references you have selected to go to that program, so you can double check that those are correct. Application certification, when you fill that part out, there is this one page that is intentionally left blank, as it says, to separate the DICUS application information to additional documents that will upload along with your application. So you can see this is where your resume will show up, where your DPD course list will show up, and if there are any supplemental documents that you have added to your application for each program, they will show up at the end. Transcripts will also show up. I don't have any transcripts in my example, but I believe if transcripts have been posted to your application, you will be able to see them. And even if not, you can see the indication of whether or not they have arrived. So just to show you another example, I do have a second program entered here in DICUS, so I'll show you how there are some differences. In this example specifically, this is for Arizona State, so I have a different personal statement attached to it. I actually don't have references attached to this one, so you'll see that that page will be displayed a little differently, and I do not have supplementary materials for this application. But I can still view what that application looks like going to that other program. The programs I selected are just for example's sake. So a lot of the stuff at the top is the same: contact information, personal information, my grades, and the coursework that I've entered in is all the same because that's the same no matter which program it's going to. Work volunteer, awards, all of that is identical to the previous one. But you can see here in my personal statement, I have in this very small sample that this one is specifically going to Arizona State. So you can see that if you do have multiple versions of your personal statement, you want to double check that the correct personal statement is going to the correct program for which it is intended. Then as I scroll down, I get to that notification of the blank page and what comes next. My resume pulls over, my DPD course list pulls over, and that is where it stops, because remember, in this application I did not have supplementary materials, and then we did not see a references page because I have not yet attached references to this sample. So that is how you can double check and verify that the application you have prepared looks exactly the way you want it to look when you send it to the programs that you are applying for.